7 miles in, going back for another lollipop loop. So hitting about 14 miles for today. And you just saw that I swapped shoes. I am now in the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed 2. Just coming off of the Agravic 4. Just reviewed that shoe. And now in this video, I'm reviewing the Speed 2. And there are some immediately noticeable differences, and definitely some things that I like about the Speed 2, but more on that here in a moment. I'll be talking about the overall build quality and the comfort of the shoe, the performance, and lastly the value. We'll compare it to a couple other shoes as well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. Consider joining the channel membership, only $1 a month. I'm out of breath. Whew. Now, if you've seen some of my other recent videos, you'll know that I've been experiencing some sciatic nerve pain, which has taken me out of commission for about a month, a little bit longer actually. So I'm just getting back into the full swing of things, getting back into running, ramping up my training, and now bringing you all the shoes that I haven't reviewed yet. So I apologize for the many weeks of no shoe reviews, but I am back. And I couldn't be more excited. So I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. Okay, with that out of the way, now let's get up to the top of that ridge and voiceover Chad, tell us about some of the specs and features of the Speed 2. Adidas states, when you're ready to conquer the trails, the Terrex Agravic Speed 2 trail running shoes are your ultimate ally. Designed for those who strive for speed and agility, these shoes are crafted to keep up with your running adventures, whether you're racing on new trails or focused on your training goals. As for those specs and features, you get a textile and synthetic mesh upper with a textile lining on the inside of the shoe, a gusseted butterfly style tongue, dual layer Light Strike Pro, which is the lower layer, and regular Light Strike 3.0 upper cage midsole, continental rubber outsole with multi-directional 3 to 4 millimeter lugs, 35 millimeters of heel stack and 27 millimeters of toe stack for that 8 millimeter drop, weighing in at only 230 grams or 8.1 ounces in a men's US 9 and a US MSRP of $165. Adidas did send me this shoe for the purpose of review, but know that all thoughts, opinions, and experiences are strictly my own, and I will be fully transparent and honest in this video. Chad, back over to you on the trails. All right, young and fit. Good job, guys. Good job, man. Making it look easy. I made it up to the top of the ridge, running along one of my favorite sections of trail now. Just beautiful, beautiful morning. A little humid and a little warm, but really nice, beautiful morning nonetheless. Okay, as mentioned, I am talking about the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed 2 trail shoe. And having come immediately off of the Agravic 4, I will say that the Speed 2 feels more nimble underfoot, feels a little more connected to the ground. It is a lower stack compared to the Agravic 4, and it feels lighter and more breathable. And actually the upper is more breathable. In fact, I had hosed down both pairs of shoes to clean the dirt off, so completely soaking them with the hose water. And the Speed 2 drained water significantly faster compared to the Agravic 4. I think both shoes won't have really too much of an issue when it comes to, water drainage and river crossings, but the Speed 2 just doesn't hold on to the water. It just escapes right out of that upper so much easier and faster. Starting off with the build quality and the comfort of the Speed 2. Adidas builds good quality shoes, and in the entire lineup of their shoes right now, so you have the Ultra Speed 2, more of that ultra high performance racing shoe. It's got a not a carbon, but like a TPU or plastic plate, and then you have the Agravic TT, which is more of that higher stack technical running shoe. That was one of those shoes that was a good shoe, but the whole was not greater than the sum of all of its individual parts. So take that for what it's worth. And then the Agravic 4 shoe that I just reviewed and ran in today. So look for that video if you're interested. Look for the review of that. A shoe that I really liked. I felt like it was a simple shoe that you could do all of your daily training in, some road to trail, but mostly trail running. And it would just be a good option, although there are a couple other shoes to compare it to that may be of consideration instead. But you have to go watch that video to find out. And then you have the Agravic Speed 2 shoe that's made more for those speedier tempo and even shorter race distances. In fact, I had recently come out here, the same lollipop loop that I'm doing today, the 7-mile loop, and set out to set a personal best in the Speed 2, and guess what? I got the PR. I ran that in, I think it was just under an hour, 7-mile loop, had like 1,200 feet of elevation gain. I really tried to push it hard, and the Speed 2 really helped me be successful at that. So it's kind of, I guess, alluding more to the performance of the shoe. But I was able to run fast, and the shoe encouraged me to run fast. Such a fun shoe to run in. As for that build quality and comfort, this shoe is simple, and sometimes simplicity is best. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and I like each of the individual components in the Speed 2. Starting with that upper, it's kind of a ripstop-like synthetic engineered upper. It's very lightweight, very breathable, very strong. I like it a lot. You get some TPU overlays in a few spots, like around the toe box and such, help giving just a little bit more durability and strength. And additionally, you have it's like a textile underlay. I'll call them underlays, like the overlays on the outside of the shoe, but they're on the inside of the shoe and help cradle the foot very nicely. Again, there's not much to this upper, but it holds the foot really well and comfortably without over engineering anything. There's not a lot of padding. There's not a lot of padding in the tongue, not very much padding in the ankle and the heel. You'll also notice, and I'll show you, in the ankle is this piece of fabric here, which I'm not sure what the purpose is. That green fabric there, I think it's supposed to help keep debris out. I don't know if it really works. The other thing that's interesting is when I step with my heel, it kind of flares out here on the side. So just take that for what it's worth, but not really dealing with too much with rock issues in this shoe. I've put in about 50 miles in the shoe and haven't experienced any sort of rubbing, redness, or blisters anywhere, including in the Achilles or the heel, nowhere in the toe box or around the foot. So overall, comfort on that upper actually is pretty nice, considering that there's not much. It's pretty minimalistic. But again, simple is better. Moving down into the midfoot, it's a dual layer light strike. You get the Light Strike Pro, which is mostly what your foot is sitting on, and that's actually on the lower portion of the shoe. And then around the foot, kind of almost cradling the foot, and in the upper layer of that midsole is their Light Strike 3.0. The regular Light Strike is a little more dense, a little firmer, and that actually helps to hold and cradle the foot in place. You actually sit down into that Light Strike material a bit. And then the Light Strike Pro, a little softer. It's actually quite a bit softer, right underfoot. The Light Strike Pro material is very comfortable. And then, of course, moving all the way down to the bottom of the shoe, that outsole rubber, Continental grip. Amazing, amazing rubber. Continental has always done a great job in the Adidas shoes. It grips well. It's very, very durable. Does well in a variety of terrain. And the lugs in this implementation, a little bit more shallow, giving you a little bit more agility on the trails, but still giving you enough bite for all but maybe the most technical or muddy type of terrain. Most Colorado trails, certainly when I'm running here today, just doing a great job. Love the quality of that Continental outsole rubber. Okay, all in all, build quality, very good Adidas. Kept things simple, gave runners exactly what they need in a shoe that is designed to be a little bit faster. So thumbs up from me. And comfort, considering that this is a more minimalistic, simpler, faster shoe, it's very comfortable. I really like it. Thumbs up for me on that department. Between the Agravic 4 and the Speed 2, which one of those two shoes would I rather have? Well, let's talk about performance. I'm gonna make my way up in between the mountainside there, run up on the side of the mountain and do a little lollipop loop. And when I get to the top of that loop, I'll talk about the performance and my experience in the Speed 2. In my haste to grab these shoes, I forgot to grab a couple gels out of the car. So hopefully I don't hit a wall. I should be okay though. Still grateful to be out here and having actually a really fun time. So talking about the performance of the Speed 2, I asked the question earlier, which of the two shoes, the Agravic 4 or the Speed 2, would I rather run in? Now, I really enjoy and have enjoyed the Agravic 4. It's been one of those shoes that I've looked forward to running in. But the Speed 2 is also one that I've really looked forward to running in. Between the two shoes, I found myself wanting to grab the Speed 2 more often. And I would say I would prefer the Speed 2 over the Agravic 4. Now, I enjoy a shoe that is a little more grounded, a little more connected to the trail, and the Speed 2 definitely delivers even more so than the Agravic 4 on that department. I found that the Light Strike Pro midsole was just a little softer, a little more bouncy, a little more energetic. And while there's not as much stack underfoot in the Speed 2, I just honestly really enjoyed the experience. It was one that I could run a majority of my miles in very comfortably, despite it being a more simple, less padded overall underfoot, or less padded certainly in that upper. But it just became an energetic and inspiring shoe to run in. I found myself enjoying the casual miles, but also wanting, and it even almost encouraging me to run just a little bit faster. And when I did pick up the pace, it became very rewarding as well. Additionally, this shoe feels lighter weight. It is lighter weight. In fact, it's very lightweight. Man, I just recorded a whole segment and then realized camera wasn't even actually recording. Noob. Check out these views. Just beautiful. Yeah, loving it out here. Just a beautiful morning. A little foggy. You can see the fog kind of out there a little bit. A little misty. But otherwise, it feels pretty good. And I'm glad we've got this overcast, because otherwise, with the sun out, it would be pretty toasty, although it's still a little more humid and toasty than what I'm used to, so I'm sweating quite a bit. All right, enough with the weather. I already alluded to it and forgot to mention in performance that outsole rubber, the Continental rubber in the Adidas Speed 2, just a phenomenal outsole rubber. It grips. It's a really good compound that's both durable but also extremely grippy in all kinds of terrain, whether you're talking the rocks and the loose stuff like this, the technical areas, gravel trails, whatever. Just does a great job at gripping into all of that. It won't do well because of the lug depth in super muddy conditions, but otherwise I think it'll perform really well, and that's at least been my experience. Even in wet conditions, the Continental rubber does really well in more wet, humid trails. So yeah, thumbs up for me on that as well. Overall performance absolutely gets a thumbs up. Love the performance of this shoe. It's inspiring. It's fun to run in. Just encourages that leg turnover. You may suffer a little bit on really long ultra distances, but this is a shoe, if you have a strong foot and you're a strong runner, this is definitely a shoe that I would consider up to 50K distances, but it certainly is going to excel in anything shorter and faster than that. So there you go. All right, moving on with this review, talking about the value of the Speed 2 and comparing it to a couple other shoes. Whew, all right. All right, talking about value of the Speed 2. $165 US MSRP. That is a competitive price, but I kind of wish it was a little bit cheaper. Again, it is competitive. A couple shoes to compare it to. The first one that I thought of is comparable in stack height is the Mammoth Energy or A-Energy Speed Trail, a shoe that I will be reviewing very soon on the channel as well. And that's the type of shoe that does encourage faster running. It rewards that faster running. It's a lot of fun to run in. Also a very lightweight shoe, but I kind of like the Light Strike Pro midsole in the Speed 2 a little bit more than the midsole in the Mammoth. Another shoe maybe to compare it to would be the Innovate Trailfly Speed version 2. I'll be reviewing that shoe on the channel as well soon. That shoe comes in, if I remember correctly, $170. I prefer the Adidas Speed 2 over that shoe. Although that shoe is fun, the Speed 2 is more fun. And then lastly, similar in stack, the Salomon S-Lab Pulsar 4. That one, and also the North Face Speed 2. They both offer different technical components in the shoe. The Salomon S-Lab Pulsar 4 coming in at $220, as well as the North Face Sky 2. It does have that carbon plate and that Dream midsole, very bouncy, supercritical foam. $220, I believe, for that shoe as well. I've reviewed both those shoes. Those shoes are great, a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed those shoes, but they are quite a bit more expensive. So for $165, I think you're getting the right value out of the Speed 2. And if you're looking for something that is more connected to the trail, something that really helps dial you into that underfoot feel while still rewarding the faster cadence and a quicker pace, the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed 2 is absolutely one to consider, especially if you can get it on sale. So now I'd like to hear from you. Is the Adidas Speed 2 a shoe that you're eyeing? Are you considering buying it? Have you already bought it? And what has been your experience? Or for $165, is there a different shoe that you would rather buy or are considering otherwise? Let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your experience. I am over 11 miles into this run. I'll be making my way back up to the ridge over there and then heading back to the car, and we can wrap up the video at that point. Oh, somebody's shooting a gun down there. Mile 12. Mile 13. Cooling off. That water felt really good. Well, thanks for joining me today on this video. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'll produce the content. All you got to do is subscribe. And again, if you are already a subscriber, especially a long-term subscriber, or even a brand new subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. All right, less than a mile to the car. I can see the parking lot. We'll leave this video off as we always do. Remember to be consistent, express gratitude, and enjoy every mile as I have today in the Agravic 4 and the Adidas Terrex Agravic Speed 2. Woo. All right, see you in the next video. Bye now. I'm gonna have to take a couple days to recover from today's run.